Oh.
Well, hello, finally. Very sorry, guys, today. We're a bit late. Those of you coming on live, we're 10 minutes late tonight. We're absolutely chock-a-block on the motorway tonight. There was an accident or something. So it's been a mad rush to get here, but we're here and we've finally gone live. All a bit of a rush, so hopefully we got sound. Hopefully, but we have lost our video links. All the video links from the patrons, unfortunately. Sorry, patrons, if you've come on tonight and you've wondered what happened. Obviously, if you come in on the link I gave those of you that wanted to come in, you can come in now still. But it looks like it's probably going to all be tonight just by text connection with you, which is like on the screen. So it's going to be a bit slower. So if we're doing any clairvoyance with you tonight, do please acknowledge us, be as quick as you can when you type so that we know we can get a response from you. Even sometimes, I know it's difficult if you're responding from phone or something, even just a yes, a Y, a letter Y, and pop it up on screen. Because if, you know, if we say something like, are we with you? Have you got something? You know, just a Y or yes or some acknowledgement, because it helps the flow and helps us rather than just sat here for ages waiting for you to make a response. And because we've got no video links, I suggest we also take some questions from people too. So general open questions too. We can do like on the normal Craig and Jane show and mix it together. And the live clairvoyance.
I've done all pre-clairvoyance.
Yeah, so Jane's also got with us here tonight the some advanced clairvoyance, as we call it, where we pick up in advance, and we'll be seeding those out through the programme a few at a time. So those will be messages either for someone that's on live with us now, or it might be for somebody afterwards. And remember, if you've looked at last week's show, you'll think, oh, that message wasn't picked up, or that one. Look at the comments, because there have been some remarkable responses from people who were able to pick up every single little detail of the things that Jane and I have given there. So every single message was taken right down to the letter. So remember that when you watch the show, because that's how it works. So first we'll say a few hellos, shall we, Jane? Sorry, I've been chatting away there, but I need to let everybody know what's going on. So, hello. I'm from 10 Downing Street. Yeah, you need a bit of clairvoyance down there. I look like our local politician there, that picture. Ninish Raman, good evening from Gothenburg, Sweden.
Yes, we've been there, Craig.
Did we? We're not just Gothenburg.
I have.
Did you?
Yeah. Way before I met you. I have.
Well, I've been to Sweden.
I'm worldwide travelled. Sunny cheers from upstate New York and
Ontario.
Yeah.
Been there, been New York. Hi, Craig and Jane. Love listening from the USA.
Oh, that's good.
And good evening, says Joanne R. And hello, Craig and Jane from Texas.
Texas.
Not been to Texas. I'd like to go to Texas. Neil, good morning from Melbourne in Australia. Not been to Melbourne, have we either? No. From Cork. Not been there, but my gran came from Cork. My great-gran came from Cork.
Well, we've got strong Irish connections.
Might be the Irish, that's what they say was the Irish side. And hanging on from Copenhagen, we went there too, didn't we? A warm hello from everyone. Hi there, guys. Well, nice of you to join us tonight. So where do we begin, Jane? We might as well start off with one of your advanced clairvoyance, because I didn't have time to write mine.
I'd really like to thank one of my lovely ladies, Bridget, that gave me these to attach to my glasses. She said, didn't she? She said you could hear them clinking. Yes, well, it's very sweet.
So she thought, well, I'll get you something that doesn't clink.
Yeah,
so
lovely.
Thank you, that's kind.
And she gave me an angel as well. Now, I got this from Spirit Thursday. A young lad, or I don't know how old he was, but his name was Daniel. He had brown hair. He got killed in a car crash, head injury. And he tells me he hit a tree and he saw an angel, and I came out of my body. I could see myself. He showed me a dark blue car, and he said he's trying to connect to his family. He was very strong with that. So if anyone can take that, because I've got four others.
As you're talking, I thought you were going to talk a bit longer. So if the messages, if the messages for you guys, do please pick it up, okay, and let us know. If type it in if you can. if it's with you. It could be for someone coming in later, and a lot of these messages may be like that tonight.
Indigestion tablet then?
Oh, that's right. I want to give another. I'll give one that I'm picking up here, and I got a feeling it might be somebody with me now. So I'm hearing, as Jane was talking there, I was trying to tune in a little bit after a hectic rush to get here, but I was hearing the name Martin. Right, I'm hearing the name Martin, and this is a spirit link that I'm wanting to talk about here, because I feel the name in the spirit would be Martin, and he's talking about a name that's connected with this, like is Johns or Johnson or something like that. It's got that Johns at the beginning, and I got a feeling there's a bit more added to it, Johnson or Johnson or John something, and it's a younger man that I've got here with me, who I feel my heart's beating too fast. So I'm getting the feeling there was something like an overdose or something that happened with this person, because I feel there's something that's making my heart rush too quickly. And he went over because of something like that. And I'm getting the sense that this was, I feel it was like a deliberate overdose of something here, because I'm feeling this is somebody that took their own life. And this would have happened. He's given me the feeling that there might be connections here with America, and I'm getting the feeling here something to do with a big city like New York or Chicago. I heard the two at the same time, so I'm somewhere like that, but I'm on perhaps that side of America as opposed to the Los Angeles side. And Martin, I think that's his name he's talking about here. And now give me something else. He says something, he like me and Jane have got a white cat Boo that you've seen. He tells me that he used to have a white cat, a pure white cat with him as well. So that's something that can help identify him. And I feel if you're taking the name Martin, you would also have to take the white cat that would be his, not a neighbour's or on the street or something like that. And he's talking about that the message goes out to someone that's been getting troubles with their ears, either bad tinnitus or a hearing difficulty they've had recently, either them or around them in their children or something like that. And he's wanting to reach out to someone who's also reasonably young. I've got a feeling he's trying to reach out to his sister that might be watching this. Now, that could be with someone now. If it is, please, please, please do put your comments in. Also, the one that Jane's just given a moment ago, that's still live now, so type it in if it was. I know Martin, I was talking about him earlier, R.E. Johnson. Do you understand the Johnson, Martina? Johnson. And also, I want to get that white cat somehow, and I also want to get this connection with something, and it is definitely with, it took his own life. Can you clarify if that's with you, Martina? Because a lot of people might know a Martin, but you need to just clarify that. You understand that? You understand the drug overdose or something like that? I'd take, because my heart's beating and I feel it's because I've taken something, because I feel as if this is someone that's done this deliberately. Can you understand? If you type yes again, we won't see it because it won't come up on the screen, so put it in a different way, a Y or something. Can you understand the cat? Or say cat yes or not, because the cat feels to me significant to this for some reason, to help identify him. Yes, I know person who took their own life. Yes, drugs overdose, and yeah. It's Martin, the name in the spirit, I want to say with this. And there's some link that he's trying to reach out particularly to his sister. So I feel as he's talking about sis, right? So it sounds like an Americanism with this, okay? Rather than sister, he says sis, right? He says sis. And actually that's quite often, okay. He's saying about he wants to reach out to his sister, who's also right at this present point in time going through very terrible troubles herself in life and needs some help from people. So I'm just feeling I want to reach out to the sister. He wants to say, basically, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm well, I'm in the spirit. They're all looking after me over here. When they found my body, because I feel this body had been found, when they found my body, I was everything, something about the body was deteriorated. There was something wrong with the body when they found it. I don't know if there's something to the face or something like that. Something very haunting about his face when they found him that was horrible. The sister either saw the photographs or saw the body, and it haunted her. And he wants to say, I'm all right now, because he was very proud, sort of bit, bit show-offy sort of character, I want to say. Can you confirm this, Martina, please?
Craig, if you move that ear thing, because they're getting a lag from that thing, move it
You're
down.
annoying. There's a big help needed around family here, and good job he's safe in spirit. Please ask him if Barbara is safe. Okay, I'll have to give you some confirmation of Barbara, though, before I say this. I want to say with Barbara, I get the sense that I got a sudden passing with her too, and it feels more raw, because I feel it's kind of right. It's happened since his death, and I feel it's more recent. It doesn't feel that far away from me. Okay, good. And I feel Barbara, or did they not just call her Babs? I mean, you're calling her Barbara, but I feel I want to shorten it to Babs with her. And she was I'm getting a very good looking person with Barbara. I had lovely hair. I feel as if her hair to me feels, I don't know if it's been curled or something. She used to keep a curl in it or a wave in it, because I just feel that, please confirm with these, Martina, as we go along if you can, curls yes or curls no and things, but I just see the curliness in the hair, and a very good looking girl who went quickly. I feel this quick, sudden shock. Everybody was very in shock with this. And I get a sense around her, there was something not too good with her too. There was something that, I don't know if she in her life had seen some violence or something like that, because there's something that was shocking. There's something like some violence was around in her life. There was some very disturbed atmosphere. Oh, you're right, Barbara. One of the spirit and one surviving who nearly lived near me, called Babby. Okay, she was nearly killed recently. She survived. Yeah, because I got that almost. So Barbara must have known this and known her, I feel. And I'm feeling a lovely. Barbara was a person that could keep it together in a very difficult circumstances, I want to say. Hard things around her in life, but she always kept it together in life. And I feel she was a person that you could kind of look to. She's very reliable in many ways. Fun sort of character, but also you could trust her. Losing her, I felt, was struggle, because she was such a nice pivotal character. But definitely, she's fine. She says she's fine. And she had lovely eyes. I don't know if she had... I don't think she's saying blue. I think she's saying had bluey green eyes that were very engaging. A very beautiful look to her with her eyes. And she was very good with English and maths, grammar and things like that. Okay. It's a wonder to connect with you both. So true, R.E. Barbara Griola's. The other Barbara living has had violence around her. British police are ensuring her welfare. Okay, so I've got it right with that. But I feel it will all get sorted out in the end, actually, Martina. I feel it's been a terribly difficult time. A lot of this happened around Christmas. I feel there was a Christmas connection with it, which was really difficult for you. I don't know what some of this, what I'm talked about, I don't know which bit, but some of it happened around Christmas. Very frightening time for everybody, I want to say, around a Christmas period, and very upsetting. But they're all right in the spirit, and it won't take long to get it sorted out here. And there's somebody that's going to be jailed, because somebody is going to get caught and they're going to get jailed. They keep getting away with it. They got away with it 3, possibly 4 times, I'm being told here. And there's a group of them. And that he's going to get, because it's a male, is going to be jailed. There's somebody that's going to be jailed there. And but it'll all get sorted out in the end. And I feel it's going to help you, Martina. And Martina, I've never met you before. I have no idea who you are. I don't know where you're from. So thank you for connecting with us tonight. There. Sorry, I've dominated a bit there, Jane, but I got in the flow, and I let you.
Would I have a chance to do two then?
Yes, go on, sure.
All right. I was getting because we mustn't forget the animals as well, because animals are important, Craig. I had some loved ones bring a German Shepherd dog through, and they told me her name was Sheba, and she had the most beautiful fur coat, and she was trying to make the owners aware and following them, and she was sitting next to these wooden logs. There was a pile of wooden logs, and it was very important that the relatives felt that they wanted to let them know that they've got the dog with them. And then the next one, this is a funny lady. A lady called Elsie wants her family to know she is at peace, and she kept talking about look after the flower pots. You tell them to look after the flowers in the pots, because they're not taking any notice. If they don't, I'm going to come back and haunt them, she said, and I'll take my teeth out and put them back and haunt them. That's what she was saying. And she was very, very, she had a good sense of humour. And I felt that she wanted to know it was important. She looked after her flowers and the pots and everything. And I don't know who's got her flower pots, but she wanted them to continue on in her memory. So I don't know if anybody can take that.
Okay, so guys, if anybody can take it right now, or it could be for later. Mark my words, every single word will get taken and get picked up somewhere, because people pick the messages up later.
Or
sometimes,
afterwards, don't they?
Yeah, afterwards, sometimes completely. Sometimes it can get muddled. Sometimes people think it might be this or might be that. But you'll find someone there that will get it in its entirety. And that's what I think makes this fascinating, is they see you coming in advance. So I don't know if we've got any takers for that at the moment, or if you are
or even if it's
understanding
afterwards.
any of those messages, you put them in at any point in the show, actually. And don't forget, if it's coming to you, if later on you come to the show, please put them in if it means something to you. Okay, so I was going to try another one with you if I can. And this is an odd thing that I'm picking up here, because I've got someone with me who was very, very interested in classical music, and in particular difficult classical music. I'm hearing particularly Stravinsky, which I think is awful music personally, Rite of Spring and things like that. So I'm hearing Stravinsky, and I think this is I'm being told this name, Stravinsky, which I think is the music. I don't think this is the name of the person that's connecting, unless there's someone called Stravinsky that's out there now that would understand this. But this youngish man, I'm not saying young, but he strikes me as a gentleman that was, let me say 45-ish. To me at 70 it all looks youngish now. I'm getting doing classical music. He was in an orchestra, and they played, particularly they specialised in Stravinsky, and that's it, he's in it, and he's talking about a person who's watching this who was also connected with him, but also is playing an instrument, but complete not classical. The person that's in doing this is not classical. They might be doing something with rock music or something like that, but it's totally different to what he was into. But he still appreciates the connection there with this. Now come on, sir, you've got to give me something more so I can get this. I get a feeling, I think he's trying to say there's not an English connection, not English speaking connection, because when we do this we'll hear it in our own language. But I get the feeling he would be wanting to be communicating through my thoughts with a different language. It feels like it could be German or even Eastern European or something, because I'm getting this different sort of voice to me, but I'm hearing it in English to me as he speaks to me. He went over quite quickly as well, because I've got something like an accident again. I've got a car accident this time. I feel like it's a car or a bike or something. There's vehicles of some sort involved in this. He's talking to me here, and he's telling me it was very cold. It was winter time. There's snow and there's ice around as he's talking to me here. And it was a great loss because he was quite talented, and there was a message about him in the papers talking about his skills. and what a loss it was to lose such a clever man. And I also get a feeling he may have some unusual religious background. I don't know if he's got something like a Jewish blood or something like that, because I'm getting something connected like that. And I've told enough now. We must pick this now if I'm going to be able to add to this. So have you been listening, guys? Is there someone there that's understanding this? Is this message for you directly now while we're live? And you do need to put the message in straight away with these things if it's with you, because if you can't email me afterwards and say, oh, that was for me, because once the link's gone, it's gone. And it's the same with Jane's. So if you can understand this one, let me know now. There's some very specific things with that one. It might be for someone later, like we say, because we do this deliberately so we can also have it for people later on as well. So keep thinking. Any of these messages that we've given so far, please, even if you're not quite sure of all of it, let us know, because we might better fill in the gaps for you if there's something missing there. Oh, that was a very specific message, and that should have been
Well, it probably
picked.
will come through, because some people don't type quickly or enough, and
Yeah.
people got to think about it, haven't they?
There might be someone in the car driving at
Yeah.
the moment going, oh my God, that's for me, I've been watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on then, Jane, off you go. You can do some more and
do you
see
remember
if we can
that?
get a live one.
Do you remember that song? I think it was Ellison Lighthouse, Rosemary Knows.
Rosemary Knows.
Do you remember that one?
Edison Lighthouse,
Where
I
it
remember.
flows, Rosemary
I don't
Knows.
know. I can't
Well, I was
remember.
hearing
That was an odd
that,
band.
yeah,
Edison.
Thursday, and this lady, she introduced herself from Spirit. She said, "My name's Rosemary, and I want you to tell them I passed with cancer," and she has her letters and photos with her, and something about a gold chain bracelet and her rings, because she's very specific. Because I've seen this gold bracelet had great big links. It's a bit like old gold, real heavy gold, really sort of worth a lot of money, and her rings and that, because she was going like that, my rings and everything. And she said, I won't go, I want you to write this down. And so I thought I'd better do as I'm told you, and I so I wrote it down. And she said, because I'm not letting anybody...
Because you get these messages while you're sort of just before you do the readings for people,
what I
don't
do,
you, at home?
I fast before I do a reading, because as you know, I can't eat beforehand. And then I go in deep meditation and everything. And when I was waiting for Simon, because he was coming all the way, because he flew over from Dubai, and that it was... the spirit were coming in and out, and that, and you have to write it down quickly. And this lady was very, very persistent and that. And I don't know why, but she was showing me bits of rosemary, the old-fashioned rosemary tree.
Unless it's a link to a name.
Well, she was showing
Sometimes
me,
these
well,
things can do
rosemary.
that.
She said her
Yeah.
name was Rosemary, and she was showing me a rosemary bush. And I thought, what's she showing me that for? So I don't know if someone had planted her ashes or somewhere near a flower bed, and there's a rosemary bush or something, but she was very specific with that.
Mm-hmm. So if the message is for you, do please type it in, please, right? Don't just sit back and think, oh, that's nice, that is for me, that's marvellous. But if you don't communicate, then we can't get the... There we go.
That sounds like a grandmother's best friend, Rosemary Lindsay.
Okay, let's
Can you
pick up on it then, yeah.
identify the rosemary tree? It's a rosemary thing, and she passed with cancer, and also very specific about this heavy gold chain bracelet and rings.
Oh, yeah, that's very specific, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
Mandy, if you could type in some of those things, if you can understand any of that, is the jewellery make sense, or does the rosemary bush might be her way of connecting her name to you, though, mind you? And what was the other thing, Jane? The jewellery was particularly
She had the jewellery,
important.
and she had letters
And she had
photos.
cancer too, didn't she?
She had cancer, and she had it's like I'm not disrespecting the gypsies, but it was very thick jewellery like that, what a traveller would have. Very
She did own
heavy.
heavy jewellery. There we go.
Very. That's good. And she was on about letters and photos with her, and very specific. I don't know if this lady's ashes were placed somewhere near the rosemary tree, but she kept on about flowers, and there was a big turnout for her. Oh, but the rosemary is important because they all have brothers who died in World War One. Oh, I see. But what's it about ashes? You're on about ashes. I think that's a nice thing to do if people put their ashes by. It's like recycling plants and everything. I think it's
a lot
quite
of people
a nice
put
thing.
roses in the garden and put
magnolia
ashes on
trees.
them, don't
I
they?
think that's quite a beautiful thing to do because it's all going back to
Just
nature.
trying to get my next link while you're chatting to that one.
Yeah. Don't know about her funeral, but she had an enormous garden. You don't know, do you? She had a rosemary tree there. That's what I'm looking for. Beautiful. It's like this, like the garden. It's like all the plants stood up to attention, and all the grass. It was perfect. It's very much like, she appreciated her garden. Her garden is beautiful, and it's like she would spend hours out in the garden. So, do you know any more information, Mandy? I'll wait for them to type it in.
She hasn't got something else. Perhaps conclude it with a message to her, but anything you feel that might be important for Mandy?
Well, all I know, she was on about her jewellery and her rings and everything, because she liked her sparkles. She liked her ring because it was really good jewellery what she had and treasured it. And I don't know if she passed this jewellery down to somebody in the family, because it seemed very important to her that somebody should have the jewellery. Yeah, I don't want to make it fit though. It's just that it sounded, no more sounds like the garden cemetery like them had their ashes buried. Yeah, but it's got to be more specific in
We were
that.
talking about that. So she picked. It says that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. No more sounds like the garden. So a lot of them had their ashes buried under bushes there, but this is a rosemary bush, because the Romans, going back in Roman times, they used to like herbs, and especially rosemary, because they used to think it was a protection from evil forces. So they were very much into their herbs and everything, and that they used to like it by an entrance at the door, rosemary. Perhaps somebody might have even planted a rosemary tree or something in memory of her, or by
No,
or on a
linked. I'm
grave.
linking. I'm getting ready for the next link.
All right, then.
So,
But
I'm
it
not with that one. I'll let you
looks
finish.
like somebody must have planted something in memory.
Okay, so I'll move on to the next one then, shall we? You
Yeah.
can always put other stuff in later, guys, if something else connects with you there. But obviously, it's not easy typing, particularly on phones and things like that. It's quite often difficult. Right, I'm just beginning to feel the link with me, because there's somebody around me. I keep getting male communicators tonight, it seems. And I'm getting flashes of Morgan Freeman, right? The actor Morgan Freeman. So, I don't know why I'm getting that, because I don't know whether the person may have looked like Morgan Freeman, but the Morgan bit feels important to me. So I think what I'm getting is someone's trying to give me the name Morgan. I think this is what he's trying to do to me. And this character, Morgan, I've got to say, is a character, because I'm getting a very cheerful sort of disposition with this man when he connects with me here. Would tell jokes, would be very upfront to the world, would be very cheerful, would be very much a man that wants to tell it as it is in the world here. He tells me he was very successful in life too, and he had more than one car. I feel like I've got a car, but I've got other cars that are just purely because I like cars. So I can afford extra things in life. And I'm very interested in things like sport, I want to say. And I may have had some involvement in activities in sport in my life professionally, or a connection. Maybe not I'm doing it, is the feeling, but I feel that I was involved in the world of professional sport, maybe in the behind the scenes or something like that. I'm getting from him here. Very healthy person in life as a younger man. He's showing me himself older now, because like I said, I kind of got a flash of the face of Morgan Freeman, who's now an older in his years, so I'll get the similar age group. But he says in my life I was very much involved in the sporting world, and I'm seeing, I think I'm hitting something with a bat. So I'm either in cricket or I'm in American baseball or something like that. There's connections with that. I think I'm American Mink again here, and he says, how do you? I feel he died something with the brain, because I'm getting something like I've got a tumour or something in the brain, and I think it's a cancerous condition that's created a problem in the brain. So there's the other connections were much slower passing, fast passings, the last ones. But this gentleman, he suffered at the end, he says, and it was sad because he had been so fit and so sporting in his life. Please put in if it's connecting with you yet, anybody out there, because then I can start to build the link a bit better with you. So if you're understanding this so far, there's some very specifics there. That name was the first thing I get, so I do feel it has to fit something connected around this gentleman with the name Morgan. It's significant around it. It may be his name, it may be something significant connected with him there. I might have not tied it together correctly, but I feel it's around him, and there's this strong sports sort of thing. And I've got the passing, which was a cancerous condition that eventually ended up as in the brain. So who am I with? Type in, please, guys, now. It could be one for later, because we do get them for later, and if it does come up later, it's your duty to put a message in the comments if you do understand it, because it helps to qualify things. My husband's name is Morgan. Okay, cup of tea. And can you understand those other things that I was describing there? Because this is somebody, I presume this is on the spirit, but would you understand, if Morgan's living, would you understand the person I've described in the spirit, in case it's a message for the living person Morgan? Because the name Morgan was called out to me, but he was a massive supporter of rugby. Okay, that figures. Okay, I saw it with a stick, but it's still on a field running like they would in those things. And there was what else was I seeing here? I saw the cancer condition, and I felt it affected my brain at the end, and also the very extrovert person, very extrovert, outward going person. Would those things also fit there, please, with you? Cup of tea. Straight to yes. Okay. Yes, his father was a Morgan. Okay. And my husband is still alive. That's what I mean. So the message is then for Morgan, but you understand the person I'm describing in spirit. Would that make sense to you? Yeah, it's Alzheimer's, and yes, so it affected the brain. Very, very... Okay, so I could confuse that with...
You said cancer.
Yeah, I thought it was a cancer, but Alzheimer's, it's the brain that he was giving me, the brain. I thought it was a brain tumour that had been affected. Okay, I might have been a bit... Perhaps I'm being slightly off there, possibly. Let's see if I can get something out, someone to say. I'm being shown a pub, all right? So presumably this is English. I'm seeing a pub that he would have liked. He shows me a harp, so I don't know if that's Guinness or something, but I saw the harp. And he's talking about, is there a pub? It's got a dog. He shows me a dog. Was there a pub that he used to go to called the Dog and Crook? Our local pub was the Dog and Crook. He's not talking about the Red Lion, that was another one, but he's talking particularly about that one. Can you place that? Maybe I might have to wake up Morgan and ask him. I think I'm talking about his father here, aren't I? Your husband's father. And who had the news agents? Frantically typing away there. And, you know, if you can't take it, then tell me if it's wrong as well. Pub name does not ring a bell. Okay, all right. Maybe you'll place that later. If you do, put it in the comment later. Ask Morgan particularly about that. And Something about a newsagent. Why have I got a newsagent? Would somebody have a newsagent, or someone in the family own a news agency? A yes or no? No, sorry. Okay. All right. Maybe I've got another link coming in there second, but I'm not going to move on to a second link. I might save that and do that in a moment after Jane's done one. But I just feel he wants to show that he's bright again, like he was. You know, he was a bright extrovert man who obviously lost it at the end and lost all his marbles, as it were, and has lost his mental capacities. And I feel he wants to say, I'm all right. Fully healed. Instantly, I went to the Spirit. And he says, I want to say a happy birthday, because I feel there's a birthday right round now, exactly round now, almost to the day. And I feel he loves sweet things, I've got to say, in his life too. And he's just given and I've got my teeth back, he says to me, because he gives me a bright smile. So I feel he'd lost a lot of his teeth, particularly in the one in the front, or the side of the front here, teeth missing originally. He gives a bright smile. I want to say he brings a sense of love to you and cheerfulness to you, because I think you and your husband have both been a bit low. There's been a lot of setbacks for you lately, and I just feel he wants to say the path is a lot smoother ahead. They watch over you from the Spirit, and if only you knew, it's not going to be as bad as you keep thinking. That's my message. Okay, Jane.
Okay, I'm going to look through here. Earlier, I had a younger female that passed in hospital. She had breathing difficulties, and it was around the period she told me she passed with COVID, because she was trying to breathe and everything with an oxygen mask and getting out of breath and everything. And she gave the name to me, Hayley. My name was Hayley, and she said, and they couldn't attend my funeral because of COVID, and I was trying to stand there and trying to watch and trying to reach them and say, I'm over here. She said there was just only 5 people allowed, and they were watching in the car while the funeral directors had to see to it. And she said, I was quite sad. I didn't have enough time to say goodbye. And she was still fighting for her breath, going right towards the end of her life. And she gave me the month of November. Now, November could be a birthday, or it could be the month she passed, but November was very important because she said November. And then she's holding pictures up of loved ones that she's taken the memories with them in the spirit realm, and she's saying, but I've been trying to get through to them and everything, and I want them to know I'm all as one now. My physical body has come back, but it's my spirit body, and my breathing isn't shallow anymore, and I'm finding it very difficult to get through to my loved ones, my family, because they're still grieving for me. But she said I got met, she said, by a grandmother, and I'm seeing a little black Scotty dog there that she's showing me, a little black Scotty dog there. But she's saying I'm not alone, I'm not angry how I passed. It's just that I wish I could have lived a little bit longer. There was so much I wanted to do, and I didn't like hospitals, but they were very good to me, and they tried their best, because she showed me an oxygen tent and the oxygen that she's taking in, and she's saying, of course, they had to do really barrier nursing, she's talking about, because of all germs and everything, and it was quite frightening. But as I was making my transition over to the spirit world, I knew that I was going over and it's my time, but I left this world with love and peace. And I just want to give a message to my family that I am trying to reach you in your consciousness in dreams. Please believe me. And that's all I've got.
Okay, so do you know if that's one for later or for now, do you think?
Well, I just don't know, do I? Because when messages come, who can say?
And often, sometimes people are desperately trying to connect and they can't get through.
Some people are too frightened to type, or some people think, no, like that. It's the same like when you do your Zooms and that, you need people to react. And sometimes they send us messages afterwards, and we try to reply to them. But Craig and I are so busy with our lives and everything that we don't have enough time for ourselves sometimes, do we, Craig?
Yeah, doing so many readings nowadays, and also actually all the details about Jane and I and our services and all the rest of it, how you can book Jane or how you can book me. If I'm full up actually at the moment, but if for Jane you have to come and visit. You have to come to Hampshire to get a private reading with Jane. I'm doing some now on Zoom again, but you'll have to look at the system on there.
Mine I prefer one-to-ones because I pick up such a lot if a person's set in front of me. I've even got bookings now booked up to the July, and that's so when I come back from Italy, I'm straight in.
Yeah, it's quite difficult, but the links are there if you want. But also the links are there for the patrons, because it's the patron side of things that keeps this gives us the opportunity to do, after a very hard day's week's work, still do clairvoyance. So if you want to keep this channel going, please help us, but keep the become a patron and help with the subscription that helps to keep us this whole thing moving. And a small amount will help to keep the studio going here, because this isn't from our home. This is a dedicated studio we've got here that we use so we can go live and have it all set up with multi-cameras working and proper lights, and Matt out there helping us in the control room. All of this costs a lot. So in order to keep it going, please do become a patron. And if you can give more, great, we can start to take it up to the next stages, which we'd love to do. But great if you could help. Okay, so I was onto a link there. I've completely. Oh yeah, here we go. Got it. I've got an odd link, because while you were sort of talking away, I was trying to tune in here, and all I could hear was that song. Them bones, dry bones, and bones, and bones. And I've got a lady singing it to me here, and it was one of her favourite songs, she says to me. I feel the lady, so she would sing it quite a lot, and she'd muck around with it quite a lot. It was something it might have been significant to somebody that's listening to this when they were a child, because I feel she would sing this to them when they were a child and muck around with this, and maybe played around, because I feel I want to dance around as I say this. Maybe I'm having another breakdown. Jane, I need some more medication. I can feel this silliness, right? I feel I want to be silly. So she sung this song. I feel she's saying to me, Mary. So I think that's her name she's saying, but she's calling the name Mary. And I also want to put a second name with it, a similar name, in that it's from that era in a way, Lizzie or Elizabeth, but Lizzie. Lizzie and Mary knew each other. So why is the connection here? There's this name connection, Lizzie and Mary, and we kind of revolve around this silly song. Now, Mary was a fun lady, I want to say. She muck around, like I said, lovely with kids. She'd be passed over now, and I feel that she's giving the sort of a feel. I feel like it's probably closer to a grandmother link to somebody, because of her feel. She gives me a real cuddly grandmother sort of energy to her. And she's a very good cook, because she's from an older, further back era here when they actually used to cook. And I think I'm in England here, because I'm getting a sort of an accent that reminds me of a Northern England sort of Lancashire sort of sound, because I'm getting a similar sound to what my grandmother used to give it talk. But it's not her, but it's just similar connections. But I'm just feeling this different accent to her, put it that way. I think it was a Northern accent, but it's hard to tell. But she give me, I've got an accent. And they didn't have any money, she says to me. We're always broke, but we always had fun. And I've got relatives also that seem to want to connect with Ireland, because I've got Irish connections going back, she said, in the family tree. That's where the singing came from, in a way, although that's certainly not an Irish song. But she says, what's the name of the people that sung that song? She liked all the songs by the group that, too far back. It's but she's talking about connections with that. Sunset, you're getting a yes to this. Can you clarify if there's any other bits? Yeah, okay, but I need to know qualification on it. Can you understand how much of this is true? Again, and your sister, that's Lizzie then, is it? And Mary, okay. And made the soup. And what about the song? What about that song? Them bones, them dry bones, them bones. I feel that specific song seems to be significant to the childhood and mucking around with that. Yes, definitely. Okay. Can't remember the name. It's on the tip of my tongue who used to sing that song. The band, they were a little group, 3 of them. But anyway, annoying me. No, more or less. More or less. So, okay, so you understand that. Mary, also, she's talking about troubles with the eyes. I don't know if she had cataracts or if someone is around you has had eye problems that they've been having to sort out, because she makes me sort of, I feel sort of can't quite see properly as she sort of, what was, well, when she made the soup, she made the bones and bones, I presume, not the funny eyes, was it? But I've got the problems with the eyes here too. Would that make sense to you, Sunset? And yes, you can understand that. Okay. And she's talking about, I don't know if there was a river or a canal or something that was near where she lived that you could actually go on, like on a boat in row or punt or something like that, because she's putting me on a river here. You have to put something other than yes, because it will come up the same for the last thing. But would you understand the river? Say river, yes, if it's right or wrong. But there's something about the river nearby that they used to take you on when you were kids. And it's not that far from where she lived. We used to go down there, she talks about, and that's nearby. Yeah, a River Clyde, is it? Okay, because she's talking about the river, and we used to go down to the river, and we used to sail on the, well, not sail, we used to row on the river. We didn't have much money, she said. We used to have some great fun. And that to us was that little bit of shingle was the beach. I don't know if they, somewhere around here they do similar, but she said, I don't know if there was a place called the beach or the beaches. It might be beech trees or something like that. Was the beaches or something round there? It sounds like a name of a place. And was there a name of somewhere nearby you called Colebrook Road or Cole Road or Collingby or something? Cole something road. Is that either where she lived or close to where she lived, right round the corner? I'm just getting something like that. Cole something road. It came off Church Street, but there's a lot of church streets out there. But she's saying that this Cole something is significant. Can you rack your brain, Sunset? Coltson. Is that Coltson? Okay, Coltson. It could be, couldn't it? Coltson. It could be right. I think I'm right. But I think that's what it is. And all right. And also she talks about somebody who must have served in the army, and this is going back. You might have not known them directly, Sunset, but you'll know of them, that was in the army or something, and they lost an arm. Because she's showing me someone here, a gentleman that had no arm. Does that make sense to you, Sunset? It's an odd thing to say, but I'm trying to get it to give you spirit evidence here, because it's the unusual things that make a difference. If it's wrong, it's wrong, but I just saw somebody without an arm. I don't think I'm on the next link. I think I'm still with you. Somebody that lost their arm. And it feels like I've got, because I've seen like old army, my granddad's brother. Okay, he lost his arm because he's in army uniform. It must have been something going back. Granddad, it must be First World War, like I'm seeing here. So it felt like that. Proud man. And in fact, I want to say, in your family, I feel so many brave people in your family. I mean, your Mary there was talking like it's all very simple and fun. She suffered a lot in life, though. And she said in the family as well, many of them suffered a lot. And a lot died in the services, she says to me. A lot in your family died in the services. And she says there's a medal. There's a very important medal. I mean, people get a medal just for going in the army. But she says there was a special medal awarded to someone in your family that the family would have talked about. I don't know, spot on, you say, it's a special medal. I don't know if it was, I don't think it's a Victoria Cross, but it's a high, but it's a very important one. It's a silver looking one that is very important to you. Those are treasures. They're worth money, but you don't sell them, of course, because they're too valuable as a family heirloom. And she's very proud of the family, she says to me. She says she loves you all from the spirit, and she says that you love your history of your family. You've been doing your family tree as well, I feel. And although you said the Clyde, I'm taking the family earlier roots back down to Somerset, she says to me, going down the southwest of England there. And there were some from Ireland and some from Wales, but there was also the Somerset link, which is all in your family tree, I want to say here. And she liked to make the ginger pop, she says, because she made ginger ale. She called it ginger pop, though. She called it pop for some reason. Can you confirm these little things, if you can, Sunset? Because I'm trying to give sort of evidential proof, as we call it here. And very good. And she listened to the radio a lot. She loved the music on the radio, she says. She does go on. She talks a lot. She's going on a bit too much, really. But she wants to send her love, right? And she's saying, okay, you confirmed all that. You remember the pop too? I don't know, that's probably... But she's saying here that families are so important. And I don't know, you've been talking to some people who have had real troubles in their marriage. It's not in yours, but you've been talking to a few people who have all the troubles and talking about possible breakups, and there's children involved and things like this. And she's saying that families are so important. It's easy to throw it away, but it's hard to bring it back again, and it's hard to make the family. So why throw it away? Okay, so I don't know if there's somebody, a friend or someone close to you, that you've been trying to advise a bit. And she says it's so sad because look at the happy memories we had as family. So that's what I'm going to give you as the message from her. And she's very much around you. You know it because you've seen her as well. I've seen it. You visited the graves of the family and you thought you saw her walk past at the graveyard, she says to me. And she did. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, confirm that if you can. But I'm going to let Jane carry on a bit more now. Then Jane.
Well, I'm not getting very much actually, because I think we're going to close down in a minute. But all I was seeing, a bomb that hit a house in Portsmouth, destroyed the house, some connection with the Navy, and I got the name George. That's all I got.
Okay, that's fair enough.
That's
what you get, and that's the same with us. It's you can imagine. It's not an easy way to do clairvoyance, this, because we've just got a text message. We know you guys are out there. We're connecting to the spirit world, and hopefully, all these other messages. Well, not hopefully. I know they will come back and look at our videos again, and just come back and even just have a look at the comments. Because if you look at last week's, you'll see people have commented and picked up the messages. This week's time, you'll be watching the next one. There's other messages, they get picked up again. And I think it does kind of show how remarkable the spirit is, really, that the spirit world can work through mediums in such unusual ways. Here we're doing it with advanced clairvoyance, so they know what's going to happen before you arrive. We're doing a bit of live clairvoyance here. But when you look into the history of all these spiritual things and the history of mediumship, it's fascinating. The efforts the spirit will go to prove to you, hopefully, that life is not the end, that life is a continuation, that we need not fear death, and we need not carry great pains and burdens that we've seen the suffering of those when they passed. Because in the spirit world, you get your marbles back like that, man. You're back to proper life again. So hopefully what Jane and I do can give you a bit of a message of hope.
Also, when I was talking about this bomb hit the house, they've just shown me an image. At the back of the house, they used to keep chickens, and there's an air raid shelter and that. And they're saying it was in Portsmouth, and he gave me the name George. So there's connection with the Royal Navy, and he didn't quite make it back, but it got very bombed badly, Portsmouth, and he's talking about, I was trying to get back and that was my last thoughts. Okie doke.
So last chance now, final last chance to put up any last
connections,
because we're nearly going to say bye for now. Yeah. So don't forget, have a look in the description on the YouTube channel here, and you'll be able to see how to become a patron. We weren't able to get our patrons in with the video links tonight, but we do, when we do these clairvoyant type ones, try to also bring patrons in to give the video links. And those that are patrons and watching this, have a look. There's a link in the patron section. I'm going to be doing the Fatima visionaries and the Fatima children. We're going to be doing a Zoom with the patrons on that. So you can come and chat to me about that and share your thoughts about that. So that should be quite interesting. And we've also got on Monday this week, if you have a look on the website on psychics.co.uk at the top of the screen there, we're going out this Friday, but on Monday, which would be I think it's Monday it'd be the 5th, wouldn't it? I've got a workshop going on there, which is a meditation plus doing Zoom version of this for you guys when you come in. So I'll be doing this type of thing on a Zoom thing, so you can come and join that. Last chance to sign up now, because the actual thing goes off the website just before. So have a look. If you want to sign up straight away. Go and have a look, and you can join me on Monday for a live version of this at 7 o'clock UK time on Monday.
And also, do go and have a look at my channel, Medium Jane Hamilton Parker. I've just done near-death experiences, and the next one I'm going to do is angels.
So that's in the link of the description here again. So we better say goodbye.
Yeah.
We managed to get the show off and on air after all. After all
skin
that.
of our teeth.
Yeah. So okay, guys. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye for now.